Touchdown! Cam Latu got the block. Brown for 6. It's just...
What's good, y'all? AJ Turn Up here. I appreciate y'all checking out. It's another episode of It's About Buc'N Time. Man, it was, I can say this, it was amazing being back home in Tampa at the game, watching it. Unfortunately, we came up short, but the experience was still good. It was always good to be back home. And before I get into the entire breakdown of the game, there are certain things I have to get off my chest before we discuss this. Yes, Eagles fans, you get on my damn nerves, because what kills me about teams that are popular and they start winning, all football logic goes out the door. It's never about how the game is played. It's very broad statements with no context, and that's what pisses me off about the Eagles. I can't stand most of their fans. Most of their fans are facts. Their feelings over facts, and they're very emotional, and the only thing that comes out of their mouth is winning, which they can't even articulate themselves or even comprehend how the game works. Now, when it comes to the officiating refs, y'all got to get your shit together, because this was, again, another game where the Bucs were going against the refs. Quentin Mitchell, I think he's a sucker and a chump, but that's just me. But every time, holding, how do you allow this? This is literally Marshawn Lattimore 2.0, where you allow these players on popular market, high marketing teams to get all the calls for the most part. Quentin was holding different receivers the entire damn game. And yet, the big one was the pull on Chris Godwin, which was an abomination. Then, of course, Bucky didn't fumble. The man's knees was on the ground. And last time I checked, I thought a ground couldn't cause a fumble. So I have to get that out there, because then it's the bullshit narrative that comes out after this game. It's, oh, well, Hurts still finds a way to win, even though he didn't throw any. It was negative yards, the entire offense, and the Bucs adjusted, which we'll get to in a second. But I just can't stand the narrative of the mass media, because they're not giving real football insight like I'm going to give you. They're just talking for monetary reasons. That's all. They just want to get clickbait and views. They're not trying to explain how football works. And there's quite a few of them out there that shall remain named.
Jalen Hurts. And at some point, we all just have to acknowledge all he does is win games.
I've tried to talk to them, and yet they don't want to give any true football talk. So I had to get that out the way. But let's get into the game, though. Overall, coaching cost the Bucs the game. Early, Bowles, unfortunately, we know how he is. He likes to try to fill out teams, and eventually it sometimes works out in our advantage, but in this instance, you're not going to get away with that, especially playing the Super Bowl champs. And that's the problem. That damn cushion coverage, y'all. The cushion coverage, it cost us all the time in the beginning. He's got to get it together. Now, he did an outstanding job in the second half. I credit Bowles for that. Bowles, you did a fantastic job. However, I'm going to need you to bring that same energy in the first half. You can't always play so timid. By doing that, you're actually giving the opponents way too much credit. Now, let's get to the offensive side of the ball. Grizzard was very awful, abysmal. There should have been more rollouts for Baker Mayfield. As you can see, his best touchdown of the day came with a rollout. He played right into the hands of the Eagles' strength in their interior line. What he should have done is get more rollouts going, and they kept throwing so many short passes to the flats. They should have gotten the tight ends involved more, Otten up the seam. A Grizzard, you're going to have to do a better job, and your clock managing has got to improve as well. At the end of the game, where we're still down 8 points, you were taking too much time off the clock. Why are you trying to run the ball when you could easily get the short passes and the crossing routes to help with that? So, Grizzard, you've got to tighten up. piss poor job. Now, Baker, you threw it. You made a very bad decision. But if it wasn't for your gameplay, we wouldn't be in this game. So, and again, shout out to Emeka for continuing to be great. Shout out for Bucky. Overall, it was frustrating because the Bucs could have won, and the special teams coach needs to be fired. If it wasn't for that, the Bucs honestly win this game. And of course, the calls didn't help. But overall, the Bucs are in a good position. They did all of this without having Mike Evans, without Gedeke, without Cody Mock, without McMillan. Imagine what's going to happen when this team gets in form and Grizzard finally gets into full form and understand how to utilize Baker. The Bucs are going to be a problem. We will see the punk-ass Eagles in January putting belt to ass either back in Raymond James or better yet, do it right in Lincoln Financial Field where history can repeat itself, where we just put belt to ass in your own stadium. So either way, win or lose, go Bucs.